Hello friends, myself Professor Dhaval Chandarana, and today we will discuss some more points among unit number 3 known as a relational query language. Today we will discuss two different points known as aggregate functions and SQL3. As per my point of view, aggregate function is the most important concept in a data management system. So we'll see that how an aggregate function will be worked and what are the different aggregate functions which are implemented in a data management system. Start with the aggregate functions. Symbols known as a G, same like alphabet G. Notations, aggregate functions name. What are the different aggregate functions will be used as per the requirement of end user? We just put the name of aggregate functions through which we are applying a particular attributes name of particular relation. So what are the requirement? It should be found from the end user side, and we are applying the aggregate function as per the results requirement. It take a more than one value as an input and return a single value as an output or as per the results. So if we says that a definition of aggregate function is known as when there are some more numbers of input will be provided to the query and generate only the single result, it is known as aggregate functions. Aggregate functions are, there are the lists of aggregate functions which we are used in a data management system. Let's see, first aggregate function known as a sum. It returns the sum, or we can say additions of a value of a particular column, or we can say sets of column. Second, max, it's written the maximum value for a column, or we can say sets of column. Third, known as a mean, it written the minimum value of a column. Fourth one, known as AVG, or we can say average, it written the average value of the given values, or we can say a sets of columns value. Fifth one, known as a count, it returns the total number of values in a given column. So there are the different aggregate functions which we are seeing in a data management system. Whenever it's required, we just provide a name of particular aggregate functions, and through which we getting the exact results as per the end user's requirement. So let's see with the aggregate function example. We apply all the aggregate functions to this common single relations known as a student with a different requirement. So you can easily understand how the different aggregate functions will be work on a common relations. In a student relations, there are the 5 attributes known as RNO, name, branch, semester, and CPI, and there are the lots of tuples. You can easily see that the single table there are 5 different attributes. Now we just apply all the aggregate functions on a single relations. First, find out the sum of CPI of all the student. As you know that if we want to find a sum of some records, at that time we are using some aggregate functions. So G of sum, we found a sum of CPI, so attributes name as CPI and relation name it is a student. Is all the example. If you want to see that there are only change in aggregate functions and a particular attributes name, relation name are same among all the example. So it's generated 73. Second thing, find out a maximum and minimum CPI. So we just found a maximum CPI and a minimum CPI among the student table. So first we found a maximum and minimum CPI among the student. As per the table, I think you can easily found 9 is the maximum CPI and 7 is a minimum CPI. So you can getting easily results applying aggregate functions. Third thing, count the number of student, means in this particular table how many tuples will be available. So we just use a count when we are applying a count aggregate function. I think we just remember that we getting a unique tuples of a particular relations, means getting only single result among the all the tuples. So we just use applying a count aggregate functions of RNO, because RNO is a unique value in each tuple. So you just remember that if you want to count particular relations tuple, at that time we are applying a count aggregate function to only those attributes who have a unique records. So it is a 9 tuples available in student table. Now let's see how a SQL3 will be used in a real market. What is SQL3 and how architecture will be different from the simple SQL. SQL is a standard language for a various relational data management system. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. So whenever we apply a SQL query, it is used to a relational data management system, or we can say a data management system. As per the simple SQL, the SQL is used for various RDBMS system. SQL was the first specified in 1970 and gone for the development from 1989 to 1992. So as the line says, in 1970 it is the introductions of SQL part. As per the requirement, SQL is under development to 1890 to 1992. After adding object oriented and after futures, or we can say other futures, it's a new standard is developed called as SQL3. In a simple SQL, there are the no object oriented concept will be found. So as per the updated requirement, as per the current market, and as per the newest technologies requirement, user want to object oriented functionality in SQL. So some software engineers will be developed SQL3 with introducing object oriented functionality in SQL. A subset of SQL3 standard, it is called as SQL99. Means some of the part will be introduced previously and some of the part is introducing next one. So some of the subset of SQL3 known as SQL99. Now see how the SQL3 will be work. So it is known as object based relational data management system as the object server architectures known as SQL3. So you can easily found that object oriented means there are the different servers and the different computer connected with the single platform. It is known as ORDBMS because there are the different servers, there are the different users, and there are the different relations which are connected with a single request. Start with the user interface. There are the two user interface will be easily seen in this particular diagram. User 1 and user 2 both are generated some message to a data processing. Data processing, it is just a interface, or we can say intermediate software to accessing particular ORDBMS system. With help of data processing, they are using a GUI like a software. With help of data processing, they perform some SQL queries. SQL query will be satisfy so many conditions, so many variables, so many formations. With help of all the constraint, if the constraint will be satisfied, then they are performing some operations on ORDBMS. OR or SQL query will be based on a particular relations. So they are just performing a particular relations based on DBMS, data management system data. Database store a procedure. With help of a procedure, data should be generated, and after getting all the results, they provide a response in form of DBMS data. As per the end user's requirement, DBMS data is responded to the data processing system, and data processing system will be performed some response to the user interface. So they can easily found a particular record through which a particular intermediate software with help of SQL query, and in SQL query they are performing so many relation of different constraints. With help of procedure, they can easily found OR or SQL query. Among the OR and SQL query, they can getting the exact result as per the user interface requirement. So it is the actual working functionality of SQL3. Just a simple way say that if some of the users want to return a different relations with a single query with lots of constraint, at that time object oriented relational data management system, or we can say SQL3 will be introducing. So we can provide some class and object. With help of class and object, we just provide a data into the data store procedure and create a procedure. Based on a procedure, we can easily getting a data among the database. So I hope you are clear what is SQL3, what are the different aggregate functions, how we are applying an aggregate functional relations database, as well as how ORDBMS architectures work. Thank you so much.